Why guests don't reply after you do. You're not losing bookings because you're slow. You're losing them because something in your reply feels unsafe. Most operators never hear this. They only feel the silence and wonder what they did wrong. I'm Kay Walton, founder of Smart Pineapple. I help small hotels, vacation rentals, and unique stays get seen, get booked, and stay human in a world that keeps automating the parts of hospitality that were never meant to be mechanical. This is Seen, Booked, Sane, a short strategy, quiet truth, and one thing you can test before your next check-in. Today we're talking about the message that quietly decides your bookings, not your photos, not your price, your reply. We've all been trained for the wrong thing. Brand standards, OTA messaging rules, corporate scripts, reply fast, sound polished. Protect the house rules. Those aren't bad skills, they're just incomplete. The real job of the inbox isn't speed, it's safety. And safety is a standard, not a personality trait. Some of the most surprising shifts in loyalty don't come from amenities alone. They come from early trust signals in communication. First replies, first tone, first feeling. That first message isn't logistics, it's a moment of judgment. Here's what guests are actually doing. They aren't sending one message, they're sending 3, sometimes 5. Not because they're difficult, because they've been burned before. Guests don't just compare prices. They also compare tone, reviews, and response speed. They're not asking, is this available? They're asking, can I trust you with my money, my time, and my expectations? Silence feels like risk. Rigid feels like tension. Cold feels like friction, and friction doesn't get discussed, it gets avoided. That's the quiet cost most operators never see. This plays out differently in hotels and short-term rentals. In hotels, guests are listening for professionalism that still feels human. They want to feel like someone experienced is holding the experience. In short-term rentals, guests are listening for safety. Is this host real? Will someone help me if something goes wrong? Will I regret trusting this? Same inbox, different fear, same outcome when it gets it wrong, disconnection, not loudly, quietly. There's a real case that shows this clearly. A hotel group in Sri Lanka publicly documented what happened when they changed how they replied to guests. They weren't losing guests because of price, location, or luxury. They were losing them in the space between messages. Requests came in, responses were slow. Tone felt procedural, neither warm nor steady. They didn't renovate rooms, they rebuilt standards. They trained their teams to answer faster, but more importantly, calmer. Human, clear, grounded. And when standards changed, behavior changed. Guest escalations dropped, repeat stays increased. Reviews began mentioning how cared for guests felt, not what went wrong. Not every guest decides this way, but enough do that it changes outcomes. You see the same pattern across North America and Europe when properties shift standards of tone, speed, and emotional clarity. It wasn't luxury, it was discipline. Here's the blind spot. Most operators think they sound professional. Guests feel processed. In hotels, that sounds like cold corporate tone. In short-term rentals, it sounds like someone protecting themselves instead of welcoming. Different model, same emotional result. They back away quietly. That's not a marketing problem, that's a standards problem. There's a tiny moment in the first few seconds someone reads your reply. That small tightening or relaxing in the body, their nervous system chooses safe or risky. They don't argue, they don't complain, they disappear. That disappearance has a real cost, not theoretical, not dramatic, quiet, monthly, compounding. Here's the only thing I'd ask you to test this week. Before you hit send on your next reply, read it once and ask, does this feel like I'm hosting or protecting myself? Hosting or protecting? Calm or guarded? You don't need perfect replies, and you just need awareness. That single moment of awareness changes the reply you send. This isn't about charm. It's about standards. Great hospitality doesn't show up by accident. It shows up by design. Standards of tone, standards of response, standards of care. Trust isn't a mood. It's something your culture either supports or it doesn't, and culture always shows up in the inbox. A lot of good operators feel this tension, but can't name it. Guests don't ghost bad properties. They ghost unsafe feelings. Speed gets you seen, safety gets you booked. Trust isn't built loudly. It's built quietly, inside the reply you almost sent. Guests didn't get harder, they got wiser, and hospitality can meet them there or quietly lose them. This is Kay Walton. Thanks for listening. Take care of your guests before they even arrive.